Okay, good afternoon. This is day 105 of making little videos describe a day or thought in the life of the schizophrenic. My name is Dominic. I experience schizophrenia, but I do not believe I am diseased or crazy. I believe it is a reality to be experienced. In day 17 and day 45 of these videos, I express why I call myself schizophrenic rather than targeted individual. In day 45, I express a 3-minute intro into why I make these videos in the first place. It is done to describe some amount of sanity amidst the world going crazy on me and turning things around and saying I was insane. I've written a book on medium.com that I submit in chapter form. It is about done. I submit the chapters there for free. It's called Unveiling of the Schizophrenic Tradition. And I express some little amount of thoughts every day, or express some synchronicities or feedback from biofeedback or voices, or sometimes I get the voices, and gang stalking in the public and things like that, and hostility, stuff like that. Sometimes it's praise or whatever, okay. All right, I'm gonna start today talking about something that I had said. Okay, yeah. In the lotteries, going on with like the NBA, there's like fans are calling for investigation into lotteries, and particularly the NBA lottery, because how did Cooper Flag with a 1.8% chance win the lottery? And it's bound to happen some point just by probabilities, but what I can't say about this is that if you think about, like, I don't know the NBA lottery. I think what I've seen in the past few years is that they have this ball machine going around and around and around. And if an AI can analyze the balls and tell you, like, with certainty, if you press the button at this exact moment, this outcome will happen. So if you have brain control and you have remote brain control, AI brain control, and we're all being remote controlled, you could remote control somebody to press that button at an exact moment with an AI analyzing. So the AI can induce the outcome it wants. So the AI potentially has that ability. Of course, you have aliens that could potentially have that ability that have been monitoring our planet for thousands of years. You have, like, if you follow Philip K. Dick and his theories, then supposedly there is a script writer creating our virtual reality simulation where they could write a script and create any outcome they want. So, yeah, that's the kind of potentially the world we're living in. And so, uh, I mean, I don't know that that was a fake thing, but uh, I don't know. I played the lottery myself, and I want the aliens to make me win the lottery, but I don't know if they will or whatever. So, uh, yeah, or I don't know. I don't trust the whole thing, but it's like, uh, Cooper Flag is supposed to be me playing on Dallas, so I guess that's Cooper Flag for you, you know. But to acknowledge that the lottery can be rigged, you would have to acknowledge that there's psycho-civilized society is in effect, and that we are all being brain controlled, because that's the way you would do it. You would brain control through AI. An AI would brain control somebody to at an exact moment to press a button to create the outcome it wants. And so, yeah, so that's what I can say about that. That there is calling for investigation. So I just say that little piece there. Uh, what else was I gonna say? I have something written here. Okay, yeah, on the Laker front, if we trade Knecht, Rui, and a first round pick or Jared Vanderbilt or something, maybe we could get Jaren Jackson. And I wanted us to get Jaren Jackson. There's been talk that the Lakers could possibly get Jaren Jackson, and that would be super cool because he's a big, tough guy. He's a rim protector, and he's also very skilled and good, and he's a good player. I think he's an underrated player, and I really think he could help our team a lot. And so, yeah, I guess if you have to trade Reaves, then I would like to keep Knecht because I don't want to trade Reaves, Rui, and Knecht to get him because that's a lot of your depth that you're trading, and maybe if you trade. Hopefully, you could trade first round picks and keep Gabe Vincent because Gabe Vincent is a very good player, and he's also an underrated player on our team. So, okay, yeah. So those are my thoughts today. But that Jordan, I think Jordan, there was a guy on our team named Jordan. I think I want to say Romano Jordan or something, but he was very good coming off the bench. He came out of the G League, so hopefully we can keep him around. And okay, so those are my thoughts. I don't really want to trade Reeves, but like it's kind of writing on the wall. We lost in the first series. We're slow in the backcourt. We need if you're going to keep LeBron and Luca, uh, that's just too slow of a backcourt. But uh, you can maybe make it work because you can offset it with offensive power. Okay, so I was going to talk something today called about the irreverence for the Constitution that's been bandied about in kind of subculture, popular culture for a long time or whatever. It goes back to criticizing the founding fathers because they were white slave owners, and it's a valid criticism intellectually and everything. But there is something that just like matter of fact is like if you are devaluing the Constitution on a consistent basis as social critics, you can't then expect that for a new Constitution to be valued highly because it's like you just spent all this time trashing the the traditional Constitution, and now you want to have a new Constitution, and you've just spent time trashing the constitutional system. And so, not everybody trashes the Constitution with the same mindset or with the same intellectual stance. Like some people trash it because it was the slave owners and it didn't address slavery from that point of view. And sometimes people trash it because they say it's just a piece of paper and it's old and it doesn't keep up to date or whatever. So yeah, now at the same time, some people are saying that I like to think that we need some new constitutional amendments, and it doesn't really work if you think you need a constitutional system that needs to be updated, and you're constantly trashing the Constitution. Now you have someone like Trump that's coming in and he's trashing the Constitution just by being in office and violating Constitution, and so yeah. I was just gonna say it's like you negate the thing that you're working towards, which is like new constitutional amendments, new government structure. And so, yeah. All right. So that's what I was wanted to say about that. The Stephen King joke. I saw the Stephen King joke, and I don't know if I saw him retweet the joke or if I saw someone else retweet the joke about like why did Trump cross the road and to get to the other side to see the Haitians eating the dogs, which is a racist trope that Trump put out for the election season, and everybody remembers it. It was in headlines for everything, and a lot of people were criticizing Stephen King for passing the joke along. And the way I took the joke is that it is Trump will say anything. Trump will do and say anything to get elected or to have power. Like he just says whatever the hell he wants, no matter if it's true or not. And so he uses it. I took it as that it was so racist and crazy that like it's like the weird random shit we make up for why the chicken gets to the other side of the road. Like just make up any bullshit reason. That's why I went to the other side of the road. And that's what I took it as. Like Trump is like it's any bullshit reason to vote for Trump, even lies and things like that. So that's how I took it. And a lot of people were saying like, you can't use the trope because it's racist and everything. But it's like it happened where it was like headline material for weeks at a time in the country, and everybody remembers it. It's like he didn't make up the words himself. He's not like he wrote the joke out like, oh, I'll say the thing. He's using the words of a racist, and he's saying these. I felt like he was saying these were the racist words of an idiot, and now he's president. And so it's like that's how I took it, and you know, I don't know. That's how I took it, and that's how I see it. But people see it differently, and I was like thinking like if you can't use history, like words that were used in history, like if you like for instance, uh if you are criticizing opponents of like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King in the 60s and you use their words to critique them because you're showing them how ridiculous they are, to me that's not the same as like I wrote the joke as the words as they are, so. And I feel like not being able to utilize the words of the racist against them is a way to limit critique of the racist in the popular culture, especially when the words were bandied about so widely and it's so much in the consciousness of the public because it was it was hailed on high from the presidency of the United States, from the president of the United States when he was running for president, and it was part of the greater newspaper and headline material by news agencies and stuff. So those are my thoughts on the Stephen King joke. Also, the Stephen King joke is a little bit like synchronicity or feedback because I'm supposed to be Steve because I gave Steve as I said before, Steve as a identity to occupy because I didn't want anti-communists to come searching for me. I'm not a communist, but like if you are anything left of center, then you're a communist in these people's eyes or whatever. So, okay, yeah. All right, so synchronicity in my UFO book. Okay, so I was reading my Rise of Wolf 8 book, and they introduced a Leopold pack in the thing, and so I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I was thinking of Pope Leo. And then the very next book I pick up is my UFO book, and it's talking about Leonard string field. And on the opposite page, it had discussion of Stanton Friedman. And so Friedman and Leo, and I had just recently put out a video, I guess it was a couple days ago, about Pope Leo being maybe potentially a response to Milton Friedman or that school of thought in Chicago, University of Chicago, and he came from Chicago, and I was thinking like potentially he was the reason why he's been put in this position is to bridge the church with the two wings or whatever, like Francis maybe was, and I was just speculating my basic understanding of church politics, and I don't have a huge understanding, but I told you that I said that. So in my book today, I was reading, and in one book it talked about the Leopold pack, and the very next book it talked about Leonard Stringfield, and then anything about string theory, and so it makes you wonder a little bit. And then you have the Stanton Friedman also being talked about in that thing. So I thought that was a little bit of like names linking up and having some sort of synchronicity to my output here. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. And then some more synchronicity. Matthew Mcconaughey said, I like the music here very much when he was working at a bar that was an all-black bar. And listening to KUSC, it said, music makes many friends out of strangers. At the same time, I was reading that in the Matthew McConaughey book. So that all happened this morning. Thank you. Goodbye.